Yo, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, and today I want to talk some more about Iceborne. It's 2019, the game comes out this year. Yes, we might have a little while to wait, but I'm still super excited. And today I want to talk about some of the monsters that I'm hoping to see in Iceborne. If you guys haven't seen the last video I uploaded where I spoke about some of the gameplay aspects I hope that we see make their way into Iceborne, then of course you can find that link down below. But today is all about the monsters. So if you do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. Let me know in the comments down below what your top 5 monsters are, the ones that you really want to see in Iceborne. And of course, if you haven't entered our giveaway for the limited edition Super Smash Bros. Nintendo Switch, then you can find that linked in the description box down below. First up, in at number 1, I want to talk about Zamtrios. Zamtrios is actually one of my favourite monsters, and it's a monster that I just feel doesn't get anywhere near enough appreciation. It is really cool. Hopefully by now a lot of you guys know what it is. A lot of you guys I know picked up Generations if you were new in Monster Hunter World. A lot of you guys still kind of tried out Generations, and hopefully by doing that you've been introduced to a lot more monsters. But if you haven't, then Zamtrios is basically like this really cool looking ice water type shark, and the first time you see it, he does actually look kind of scary because, you know, he's this shark with these icy spikes all over him, looks super serious, then suddenly when you start fighting him, he fires a laser beam at you, he's like, and like, you know, that's kind of cool. But then suddenly he switches it up in the fight and he inflates himself into a massive balloon, and then the monster that you suddenly thought was super serious is now kind of like a running joke. But he then starts jumping around, he deflates himself, you get pushed away, and he reverts back to a serious state. He's just a really cool monster, and he also has a slightly different skeleton, and that's something that I do definitely want to see more of in Iceborne. In Monster Hunter World, we've got a lot of flying wyverns, brute wyverns, a lot of monsters that share very similar skeletons, and, you know, while I appreciate why they did that for technical reasons, I do want to see some more variety. So Zamtrios is a monster that fits the icy theme, is really cool, is quite different, has some badass armor, and would definitely fit nicely in the game. So that's my number 1 hope. Moving on from there to number 2, we have Scylla. On a very similar vein to Zamtrios, when I was speaking about having different skeletons, Scylla is of course the spider type monster. Really cool. To be honest, if I could choose, I would rather have Shrouded Scylla, because of course Shrouded Scylla has one of my favourite weapons in the entire series, and that is the Shadowbox Scythe, which is the Scylla Charge Blade. It's a sleep charge blade. The design is so cool. And of course, it's also kind of what birthed the Naptime Ninjas back in the day, where we used to kind of put monsters to sleep and then synchronize Charge Blade Ultras. It was really cool. But the point is, it's a really cool monster. It's a spider, so it behaves very differently to anything that we've fought up until now in World, if that's of course the one that you've kind of got used to. It has like these crazy jaws that opens up and just like slams closed when you kind of get caught in its webs. And it just behaves really differently. So I think, you know, trying to bring back some of those definitely brings back some more personality into the series and makes it so that like not all the monsters feel that similar. So this is definitely one of those ones that I think would be a really awesome addition. And do keep in mind that just because the game is called Iceborne, just because we're more than likely going to get like, you know, a new icy area, anytime in the past that we've had, you know, additional expansions, they do still add monsters back to existing areas. So Scylla could for sure fit nicely in the ancient forest, you know, things like that. And plus, has some pretty cool armor, has some cool weapons. So definitely, whether it be Scylla, whether it be Shrouded Scylla, I want to see one of them. Then in at number 3, I really want to see Barioth. Now, I kind of cheated with this one because given that at the end of the trailer we saw the red eyes, which is very clearly Naga Cougar, I don't actually have to mention Naga in this video because that's basically confirmation that we're getting it. So I'm just going to cheat and instead mention Barioth, because Barioth is similar in sort of skeletal form to Naga, of course, but I'll be honest, I actually prefer Barioth. Yes, you know, a lot of people might hate me for that one, they might be like, how can you say that? Because don't get me wrong, Naga is a really cool monster, I really do like it, but in terms of design, I actually do prefer Barioth. He's got the cool front tusks, he's got the slightly more defined tail, he, you know, throws out whirlwinds and starts diving around them in the arena, and also when it actually comes to the armor, although Naga armor is really cool, of course it's very like, you know, ninja inspired, which is basically my thing, I can't help but say that I do actually prefer the Barioth armor, especially the G rank armor, and given that Iceborne is supposed to be like the next tier of difficulty, which is essentially going to be G rank, then I would like to think we would get that armor. So that is definitely a monster that I would like to see. It's also just like a really cool fight, it behaves quite differently to anything that you would have fought up until now in World, so for sure, that would be an awesome addition. Then moving on from there to number 2, we have Razzing. Razzing is one of my all-time favourite monsters, and this is honestly the true test of your hunting ability. If you've kind of played through World or you played through other games and you're like, you know what, I'm good with fighting Devil Joe, I'm good with fighting TRex, I'm good with fighting like the Elder Dragons, Razzing is the one that will really test you. If you go around thinking you're a good hunter, Razzing is the monster who'll turn around, look at you, laugh, and then be like, you need to go back to school, mate, because he is such an awesome monster. He's basically a Super Saiyan monkey, right? But in terms of fight, he's just like very, very scary to fight if you don't get used to him. He actually became one of my most hunted monsters back in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate because I went through trying to farm the Furious Razzing set. So I actually got to the point where I actually feel quite comfortable fighting him, but the first few times I was completely wrecked. He is one of those wall type monsters that when you first fight him, it will probably be a blocker for you until you learn to kind of practice against his moveset, until you learn to kind of master the things he throws at you. And then of course, as with any monster, once you actually learn its move patterns, then you just go on and farm it, and then you wear it like a hat. But Razzing has some very cool armor, has some very cool weapons, and just as monsters go, when you think about it in the context of World, I would love to see Razzing have turf wars with basically any other monster. I would be willing to bet that Razzing would essentially beat everything in a turf war. I'd like to see it like Basil try and sort of fly in on him. He would just probably jump and punch him up the sky. If Devil Joe tried to bite him, he would probably pick him up by the tail and just swing him around. He is basically the apex of all apexes. So yeah, he is definitely a monster I want to see from both the gameplay point of view and also just how he would fit into the broader Monster Hunter World ecosystem. And then finally, the last one. If you guys know me, then you probably saw this coming, but I can't do a top 5 without mentioning my boy TRex or TRex, depending on how you pronounce it. Either way, he is a very cool monster. He is one of the monsters that essentially kind of made me love this series. He was one of the very first monsters that was a real blocker for me back when I picked up the game in Monster Hunter Freedom 2nd. The first few times I fought him, I just kept on getting trounced by him. I thought I would be making some good ground, and then suddenly he'd go into rage mode and I'd be like, this is not going my way. He is one of those monsters that tests you and proves that you really are a hunter, and if you can kind of overcome him, then of course you are well on your way to becoming that true hunter that you want to be. Also, he has some really cool armor. He also plays quite differently as well. He is also a very aggressive monster. He fits nicely into the ice theme. So all up, he is just a very, very cool addition, and he's one of those ones that he's kind of almost become a signature monster. Maybe not quite as much as, say, something like Rathalos, but he's been around long enough that I'd argue not having him in the game is just a crying shame. So hopefully we get to see him. Also, finally, as one passing note, yes, I appreciate this was supposed to be like a top 5, but honorable mention, Daimyo Hermitor. Actually, both the crab monsters are kind of cool, Daimyo Hermitor and Shogun Senator. Shogun Senator is more challenging, but I actually prefer Daimyo Hermitor. But just again, going back to the skeletal thing that I was speaking about before, it is just some more variety. A kind of completely different type of monster. I feel like they're really, really awesome to fight. They behave quite differently, and I think looking at them in World, if I could see a full 1080p HD Daimyo Hermitor, that would be awesome. So there you have it. That's a look at some of the monsters that I really want to see in Iceborne. Hopefully we get so many more. Hopefully we get all of those and more. And of course, plenty of new monsters because, that monster from whatever we saw in that image where there's the Viking guy with the big beard and the little moose antlers, whatever the monster is, I need to fight it because I need that armor. But yeah, hopefully lots of cool new monsters, hopefully lots of cool returning monsters. Either way, I'm excited. Let me know in the comments down below again what you guys want to see in Iceborne. And of course, keep it locked for plenty more Monster Hunter coverage. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to check out some more awesome stuff from us here at Arekkz Gaming, then you should definitely try to catch 269 and Paradise Central streaming 6 days a week. You can find a link to the multi-stream in the description box down below. They play a wide range of games, and what's more, we also have the Endgame store. By watching their streams, you earn currency, and you can redeem that currency on the Endgame store for really cool prizes. Those can range from things like games, comics, and figures, all the way up to controllers, capture cards, and even consoles. So definitely drop by and become part of the community. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you're subscribed and be sure to click on that little bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss our next upload. You can watch more videos by clicking on the options here, but once again, thanks very much for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.